In a story of good versus bad, a hero can only be awesome if the villain is much of a challenge to defeat. Now, you wouldn't want Captain America and the Avengers to take down a shoplifter. In this video are 5 of the most powerful villains that Marvel has created to give all of their superhero teams a terrifying challenge, not only in power, but in spirit and motives as well. Let's get started. Number 5. GALACTUS, aka the World Eater, and we mean that literally. GALACTUS eats the cosmic energy of actual planets for lunch. He might even throw in the moon for his appetizer. He is originally a creature of the Celestial Order. This means he is like the Eternals. Remember them from the 2021 MCU movie release. But unlike the Eternals, GALACTUS was once a regular man. He was a scientist named Galen of Ta. He was also the last survivor of the 6 cosmos, if you believe our universe has been destroyed and recreated up to 6 times. Shout out to the Eternals for that. So Galen survived and was caught up in the recreation of a new cosmos. The raw force of this creation was infused into him, and that is how he got that insatiable cosmic hunger. By now, you'd think he would become obese, but no. So where does all that cosmic food go to? Also, what is his number 2 like? And we're not only referring to the Silver Surfer, who was his sidekick. GALACTUS has no morality to speak of in the first place. That reminds us of Thanos, who wiped out half of all the life in the universe for the sake of balance. As for GALACTUS, he doesn't care about such things. All he cares about is satisfying his hunger by any means necessary. You could win a debate with Thanos if you were a great speaker representing Earthlings. But not so with GALACTUS, which makes him the more frightening villain when it comes to destroying worlds. So thank God for Thanos, who only took half. GALACTUS' power is named the Cosmic, and since he was the first ever being to be created simultaneously with the universe, his power is almost limitless. Some might argue that he was created to balance out the universe. GALACTUS also appeared in the 2007 film Fantastic Four: The Rise of the Silver Surfer. Remember, the Silver Surfer is also a messenger for GALACTUS. But will GALACTUS ever return in yet another Fantastic Four movie installment? At least we can say we are already scared. Number 4. The INSECTOID. We're in the MCU, right? And it might interest you that Ant-Man and the Quantumania, released earlier this year, isn't the only realm to consider. So you have this insectoid villain who comes from what is known as the negative zone. Does that ring any bells? Maybe you can relate if you've seen the new Ant-Man movie. This insectoid guy has a reputation as the living death that walks. You can also call him Annihilus. He mostly belongs in the world of the Fantastic Four, and if you've seen the movie from 2015, that's where Annihilus comes from, just like Doom. That realm is an antimatter realm, or, as mentioned before, the negative zone. Annihilus even has henchmen, like insects, who do his bidding. And what sets Annihilus apart is his thirst for violence and destruction. It reminds us of Khan, the Conqueror from the Quantumania movie. Except in this case, Annihilus gets his powers from wielding a very special cosmic rod. On the flip side, Annihilus is scared of death. And here's another weakness. Annihilus will never let the source of his power, the cosmic rod, out of sight. He will kill anyone who might take it from him. You're as good as dead if you even harbored the thought of stealing it. Mr. Fantastic tried it once because he needed to help his wife, the Invisible Woman, with the safe delivery of their child. The rod was eventually returned once it had done its magic, but Annihilus was so furious that he swore to exact revenge. It seems the use of the rod by Mr. Fantastic for such a purpose opened Annihilus' eyes. Thanks to this energy-manipulating rod, Annihilus soon assembled an army called the Annihilation Wave to conquer all known dimensions. In one cosmic day alone, millions of worlds were destroyed. It took the combined powers of Galactus, the Silver Surfer, and Drax to stop the destruction. Eventually, Annihilus died a painful death when his spine was ripped out of his mouth, like in the Mortal Kombat video game. Number 3. KNULL. It sounds like a misspelling of the word skull, but KNULL is the original symbiote and the leader of all symbiotes everywhere you might find them. If you don't know what the heck a symbiote is, then you only need to look at Venom. Galactus was not the only byproduct of the creation of a new universe. KNULL was also formed during the rebirth of this known universe. So that's another entity you can't argue with on moral grounds. Just look at Venom alone and imagine a trillion other entities like him scattered everywhere. KNULL started life as an orphan, and the Eternals, who created the new universe, threw him out as garbage. So he swore revenge and actually beheaded one of the Eternals. Afterwards, he used this same huge skull as a workshop to create the ultimate weapon called All Black the Necro. With this sword, he roamed the universe and killed every creature he encountered. This lasted for many cosmic years until he was defeated and the sword became lost. Eventually, Gorr, the God Butcher, found the sword. Remember him from the latest Thor movie installment, Love and Thunder. And so, by wielding the sword, the race of symbiotes was brought back to life with KNULL as the first. At some point, Thor struck KNULL at his core with some thunder, resulting in the scattering of a few symbiotes across the universe. Some of these ended up occupying hosts just like Venom does. And in occupying these hosts, they began to understand morality and emotions. Even though this was against their nature, they couldn't help themselves, so they collectively neutralized KNULL's powers and imprisoned him. Did you know that there are symbiote dragons too? Another interesting fact is the symbiotes show a red spiral on their faces when under KNULL's direct control. So you might want to watch out for that in the next Venom movie. Number 2. KORVAK, the Man-God. His full name is Michael KORVAK, and he hails from the 30th century, which is many years from now. Michael's day job is as a computer technician. Okay, we didn't think there would still be physical computers in the distant future, but hear us out with this one. An alien race has invaded Earth, and Michael has found a way to betray his fellow humans by conspiring with the aliens. But the aliens themselves don't have a moral compass, so they put Michael to sleep. When he wakes up, he finds out that his upper torso has been attached to a floating mainframe computer. We told you this would be interesting, didn't we? Anyway, KORVAK is furious and ends up killing all the aliens who did this. Spoiler alert. This is beginning to sound like ChatGPT eventually taking over the world. But once KORVAK becomes fully conscious, he is taken away by a cosmic elder known as the Grandmaster. This guy is sort of like a gladiator tournament promoter for the universe. KORVAK also sees the opportunity to try to hack the Grandmaster's setup. But what's it with the AI obsession of hacking things? It seems that is the only idea conscious computers think of every day. KORVAK is unsuccessful on that first try, but doesn't stop there. Later on, KORVAK would encounter Galactus and his ships. And you guessed right, KORVAK would attempt to download or hack his way in. And while realizing that Galactus is a big deal, KORVAK would hit the jackpot with this one. KORVAK then uses the energy he downloaded from Galactus to transform himself into a full-blown human. So no more half man, half computer. From then on, KORVAK starts to believe he is the one to bring order to the universe like Thanos. It seems most villains think that way. Moreover, KORVAK is naturally endowed to achieve this aim. And he didn't have to steal stones like Thanos, thanks to the immense energy he downloaded from Galactus. So this is where we say he had the powers of a god, even though he never actually used them to achieve his destructive aim in the MCU. Number 1. The Molecule Man. His real name is Owen Reese. He is also known as the Master of Reality. It sort of reminds us of Dr. Manhattan from the DC verse. Sorry guys, we had to mention the similarity. So this guy was a nuclear lab technician that got irradiated and developed such great power. Who survives a nuclear accident and lives to tell the story? The answer is Molecule Man, or his mate from the DCU, Dr. Manhattan. They can both control matter at the atomic level. There is a scene in the Watchmen series from 2019 where Dr. Manhattan is able to create two functioning human beings from nothing. That should give you an idea of what Molecule Man can also do. There are rumors that Molecule Man is a walking nuclear bomb created by unknown beings. Maybe this is true, but Molecule Man has proven to be quite the villain on his own. In one instance of his story, he encased an entire city in a big glass bottle for decorative purposes. Or is it the one where he destroyed an entire Colorado town and recreated it from scratch, complete with the original people who lived there? Is that powerful enough for you? Also, Molecule Man works well with the multiverse, and in some comic installments, he has helped to protect the multiverse from total destruction. And we're not just referring to the Multiverse of Madness from 2022 that featured Doctor Strange and the Scarlet Witch. Will the Molecule Man character ever appear on the cinema screens? Only time will tell because the MCU is so vast. If you have reached this far, like this video, subscribe to our channel, and press the notification bell so you may not miss any future updates. See you in another video. Until then, take care. Tell us your views in the comments section.